So let's go ahead and jump back into Photoshop and let's take a look at these and see what we can do. So one thing I like to do for, I might start here is just go ahead and grab the, I'm going to disable my layer mask for a second. No, let's not do that. Enable. Let's go ahead and just load. Let's select these, select, modify, expand. Take my selection and expand it. I'm going to duplicate those. So now I actually have my, right. So now I have my wood texture on one, and I have my iron on the other wood. And this is going to be very useful for me there. Let's do the same thing on this guy, except here we're just going to have, grab that, duplicate that selection. So now we'll have the, right here I'll have the wood texture on this layer, and we have the leather on that one. So one thing I like to do for texturing, when I have the same texture that needs to be applied all over each one of these pieces, on all of our UV spaces, is I like to create the texture in a separate document. So we'll just create a new one, and I think I can make this guy just 1024 by 1024 RGB 72 DPI, and that should be just fine. So create that. I'm going to start by just putting a base, and then I'll make a new layer, and in this new layer we'll start to paint some sort of wood grain. So let's grab my brush, let's grab a darker color, and on a new layer, turn up the smoothing on my brush. Start to paint ourselves some new wood grain. Some wood grain going across this way and that way. And there's another one. Get some variety in there. Alright, so we have some grain. Let's make a new layer. This time I want my grains to also have some variety, so we'll do a lighter value. Pretty good. Do this on a separate layer. Kind of work my way in between some of the grains I've already placed. Be very careful not to go outside the borders. Thanks for your patience on that one. Cool, so we now have some wood grain on 2 different layers here as well. Just kind of knowing what's going to happen here. I'm probably going to want to make this wood grain a little skinnier. I can just duplicate those layers, Command J. Just go ahead and flip them horizontal. And maybe work their way down. That. Let's just double up these guys. Just transform them so they get there. Alright, so I've got lots of wood grain now, and this can become a sample to now push into the other scene. So I'm going to go ahead and copy. If you do edit Command Shift C right here, that's copy merged, right? I'm sorry, here's Shift Control Mac, Command Shift right. So copy merged. That copies the whole thing, and I can basically come into my wood layer and just paste it. Like that. And so now you see, because of the masking, I can go ahead and position this right under there, under the color layer. So I'll do that first one. Maybe erase out the other ones and then duplicate that. Bring it down to here. Again, erase out the parts I don't want. Okay. Command paste it. Let's go ahead and just go down the line. We'll do the next set of UVs. Duplicate that one. Duplicate it one more time for this last piece. And now we'll just duplicate that and bring it over for these pieces over here. There we go. Let's take a look here at what we have. I want to make sure I'm not overlapping into encroaching on another UV space. Just going to go ahead and just hold Control and select. Okay, give me the layer I'm on, or this auto selects the layer. So this guy now needs to erase out there. This one needs to erase out. There we go. Erase that one out. And go ahead and erase these pieces, and those can become their own. So that looks all good. So I'm going to merge those. E, Command paste, so we'll paste a new one in. That will become the texture here. Command V to paste for some other pieces of wood. So these guys I might have to just duplicate, flip horizontal, sort of line them up. There we go. Erase that one out. There's another one. Move that one, give me some variety. Alright, so there we go. We've taken all of our wood. Might as well just merge them all. Shift E. Don't need this wood base anymore. And there we go. We now have wood. Oh dear. Looks like I erased too much. So let's go ahead and merge that wood with this one. And that way I don't accidentally get some transparency. For this is my leather strap down here. Maybe you want to just throw in some paint. I'll just grab a texture brush of some kind. Maybe this guy. And we'll go to this leather. We'll lock the transparency for that layer. Alright. And now I can just go to paint some rough sort of thing there. I'll see some black, some darker value as well. Make my brush smaller. I'm pretty sure this is a pretty small little texture. this is a tiny little rope there. Stripe across. Okay, so there we go. That is our new wagon basket texture. So I'll do a save as, Command Shift S, go to JPEG, and we'll go ahead and load the color for the wagon. And we'll say save. So we're going to say save this as wagon basket color.jpg. Is the JPEG that's correct? It's going to say, do you want to overwrite it? Yes, I do. And I'll jump back into Maya, and by default, you may not see the textures automatically update, but if you just kind of grab over here on the texture node and you just say reload, but that's not even the right texture, is it? So, well, look, just by selecting the geometry, it automatically reloaded the texture. So you could also come over and grab the blend and come over here to this texture node and say reload. Alright, so there we go. Now we've got the textures loaded in. You can make adjustments how you want to. Let's go ahead and look at our texture here. So you can kind of see that little bit of painting we did is showing up on that texture as well. So cool, looking good. Go ahead and do the wagon wheels as well. So on the wagon wheels we can do a similar technique for the wood. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and go into my wood layer and just paste it. Now I know that these tiles are smaller, so I can probably get away with a larger texture, like so. Go ahead and place one in there and delete the rest down here, and then I'll paste some more. That's going to be the wood for that piece. And now we'll go ahead and do some more. This little piece down here needs some wood, so there's that one. Okay. I have some pieces up here that need some wood grain. Oh dear. A little wild there. Okay. And select just that bit. Command J will duplicate my selection. I'll just delete that piece. And then I have one little bit here that needs some texture. Let's put that. Cool, so I can go ahead and merge my wood textures. Go ahead and merge it down with that. So this is our wood. Now for the iron, I'm going to do, I have this splatter brush here. Probably get some nice. So this one I'm going to lock the pixels so that I'm only painting inside of that. Let's turn the smoothing off. It's a little bit of a start. What other kind of texture brushes do I have? I think underneath here, let's see what we have. pretty interesting texture there. Let's go ahead and do something similar on this guy. Make the brush smaller, I think. Let's grab, what is this one? A little less contrast there. I think that's important, not to have too much contrast. Maybe a little darker even. Hide my UVs. Look at what I've got. Okay. Bristle brush. That seems to be a little bit better of a what I'm after here. So, you know, play around with the right brush. See if you can build up sort of this raw kind of cast iron. Think of like a cast iron skillet. That will be my point of reference for this. Lighter. Build up that texture. There we go. Cool, so then I will save that one out as my JPEG. This is my wagon wheel color. Save, yes, replace that. Come back into Maya, and if I just select the geo, it should load. And there it is, all loaded up. Alright, so there's my iron color. The specularity is kind of getting in the way, but we're all good. So now that we have our textures, our color texture loaded, we now want to create the speck and the bump.